Right, so Aisha is back with Joy News Interactive. Welcome once again, Aisha.
Thank you, Israel. No, it's good to see you all the time.
Always good to see you.
Right. So you know how to join this beautiful conversation. It's on facebook.com/Joy News on TV. And on Twitter is on Joy News on TV. Remember, we need to be very cooperative, not to use harsh words. Let's have a beautiful conversation. And that's it. That's all the interactive segment is all about. Now, there is a back and forth about former President Mahama's request to continue living in his residence, one in which he lived with his family when he was president. Now, even though former Communications Minister Dr. Mahama claims there was an agreement between the immediate past and current government on the issue, leader of the transition team, Osafo Marfo, has denied it. Now, question I ask, do you think it must be legalized for former presidents to keep their official residence after leaving office?
This presidential destiny is known for a personal destiny, okay? So to me, I will decide that they should make it official, okay? So that it won't be like something that it will be an individual inheritance, okay? It's for the nation. So when it's your turn and you are living, you have to live for the next person who is coming.
Oh, it's fine when every president has keep his own residence. But sometimes, you see, it's something that they have implemented there already, that even after a president that finished his, or has done with his job, there is a need that the country should find him accommodation, a special place to stay. So that one there, that's what I have said earlier, that we should leave it for them.
If we have 10 presidents coming on board and they are in the same bungalow, where will the others be? Because once your tenure is over, you need to vacate the place. It's a shifting cultivation system. Your tenure is over, you need to vacate the place, another person takes the place. But then if you don't vacate the place, then that means they have to build so many buildings, which is not possible. So prudently, I think you should vacate the place. Once your tenure is over, then another person, at least they can relocate you somewhere else, but not in that premises for the government.
Oh, I don't think that would be right. So if they can move out for somebody else, the next president should come and occupy the place. I think it should be nice.
If the state wants to give you a place after your service, you should go for it. Because if every president says, there should be a formal bill passed on this so that it becomes official that after your service, you are supposed to vacate from that premise to wherever the state wants you to be, so that we can cut down costs, and that money that would be used to maintain the house in which you believe in, you want to live, that money can also be channeled into other things.
All right, so that's your opinion from the streets. Let's see what you've been saying on our social media platforms. We'll start with what you've been saying on Facebook, Israel.
Right, so Yarabi says, to whom it may concern, Ghana policies is so nice, and that's what makes it unique. The incompetent GM has been appointed by the competent Opana to represent him at the OKOAS meeting, CS, and will teach you democracy. Okay, let's just move on. Imbo says, we must be kidding in this country. What if one day an ex-president wants to keep the Jubilee House as his official office? I think this smart thievery must stop for once. What's the difference between buying a state bungalow and this one? Common sense must hear this. And Saka says he deserves the Flagstaff House as his retirement package. Let's treat the man with great respect. He has done great for us. But keeping this residence is a difficult but doable for the country. I think the new president should let him have it. And Ismail says, yes, so he deserves it. Where should he go, for God's sake?
Senior Fred Kumi says, I just can't comprehend the action of JDM. We should as well let him buy the Jubilee House, eh? Hashtag citizens, not spectators. And Lexus says, if we continue to do that, will we get land to build houses for them always? What kind of Oh, come on, don't be too harsh. Richard Kweku from Promanza says they agree to JM's request but will deny for obvious reasons. The denial is expected. And Hash Suarez says, well, best president. If the NPP like to give him or not, still he is the best, and we thank God for giving us JM. And Fake London Boy says we should take it from him, because if he leaves it, we leave it for him, one day another president will take the Flagstaff house, and says laughing out loud. And Christian Diabol says, upon all the wealth they have acquired and the properties they own, is not sufficient for them. Hey, what shall it profit a president if he has made fool of Ghanaians by making us poor whilst they enjoy? And Felix Yao Preco says, very expensive for the country and should not countenance it all. They shouldn't give it to President Mahama. Kobe Brown says, my only president, JM. And John Johnson says, I think it's not necessary. All right, so those were some of your comments. Now, former President John Dramani Mahama earlier today attended an ECOWAS meeting over the political crisis in Gambia. This follows a meeting between ECOWAS and the government of Ghana, in which President Takeovers agreed that former President Mahama should continue his role in the mediation to resolve the political crisis in the Gambia. Now, whilst others feel the former president is in the right position to serve as a co-mediator since he has been part of the process since its inception, others think the former president attending to this issue undermines the current government. What do you think about all of this?
I think, in his capacity as a president, he did that. He went to Gambia to go and talk to them about the fact that Ajame is no more the president, so he should just, leave his seat for the new president, who I've heard is deceased right now. Now that he's no more the president, I think he should just relax and make way for Nana Akufo-Addo, who is now our new president, to continue from there. He did that in his capacity as the president. Now that he's no more the president, I think the new president should just take over from there and then go and see the people of Gambia, and then they should just deal with it. Yeah, that's what I think.
I bet to differ a bit, because Mahama was, if I stand to be corrected, but he was, to the best of my knowledge, he was a leader in ECOWAS. And even now that he's no more the president of Ghana, he still has that ability to negotiate for peace in Gambia, or to talk to the Gambian president, because he has done it before. He's got experience, he's given power, he's transferred power to a new government, and with his experience and with his portfolio in ECOWAS, I think he's the best person to, because Nana Akufo-Addo just took over and he's yet to learn more about so many things about government or governance. So I think Mahama is the right person to go in for and do this work. Yeah.
Let me say this. I think when Mahama, as it stands now, when Mahama goes to Gambia to go and talk to them concerning this political whatsoever, who is he going, like in what capacity is he going there? Because as it stands now, he's no more the president. So in what capacity? He tried doing that when he was the head of state or the president for this country, and now that he doesn't have that power, I think he should just try and sit down with Akufo-Addo and then maybe at least push Akufo-Addo to continue from where he stopped, so that he can bring some sort of peace and then things will move on. That's what I think.
Okay.
All right, let me cut in a bit. For me, I think Mahama now can be called a peace and democratic ambassador. Having, like, let me say, peacefully accepted the verdict of December 7th post makes him, let me say, a model for a democratic person, you see. So he, counting his experience, can just tell that president, look, I was also like you, me, I went just one time. I lost and then I gave it all up, you see. So I think Mahama now can be called a democracy ambassador. Yeah, I think this is the first time a president has won just one term and then he has lost, and then he has taken that verdict peacefully.
All right, so let's see what you've been saying on Facebook and Israel. Let's start with Kwesi Boateng.
But it's important. It's actually important to note that it was ex-President John Mahama was actually sent or delegated by President Akufo-Addo to go to Nigeria.
Of course, so I think it's in the right direction, because he started this whole thing, and it's only good for him to continue. And as being a former president too, I'm sure he will convince him to be able to Yeah, he's been part of it, of course. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Right,
it's
Kwesi
right.
Boateng says certainly there isn't anything wrong with that move since JM started this whole mediation on behalf of the country. And at this moment, it will be prudent and in the interest of the nation for him to continue, whilst Nana also goes on to take charge of activities at home since he is new and needs time to study the system well. King Kebab says, no, Lenti is a perfect man for the mediation. It has not been long since he lost an election whilst in a comfortable lead and handed over peacefully. Saka Mohammed says, it's a sign of unity. God bless ex-President Mahama for his continuous service. He deserves the Flagstaff houses amongst his retirement package. Okay, Paul Smith says, another lie from incapable Nanado and NPP government. Ex-President John Mahama was never appointed by Nana Akufo-Addo. He was appointed by ECOWAS. They appointed him as a person, not the country. All right. Ismail says, contrary to the report, ECOWAS rather appointed him to continue with the mediation. But ECOWAS can't continue, can't appoint him. He has to go through.
Yes, of course. So it was
country.
in consultation
Prince
with government.
says, Mahama is one of the first beneficiaries of Nanado's job creation. Oh, Lord.
And Andrew Abolgabia says, where are the men he Akufo-Addo claimed to have, and why do Akufo-Addo have to appoint a man he called incompetent to represent him? I think this whole thing is because he's been part of it, and because he's also just, you know, he just stepped aside for a new government to come in. So I think he will be in a better position to talk to Yahya Jammeh to understand what politics is all about, and the fact that he should step down.
He will tell him, he said, look at me, look at me.
Yeah,
I stepped down. I mean, I lost the election and I stepped down.
Yeah, you know.
So who better to
so
speak
I
to Yahya Jammeh?
I think he's in the right position to do that. John Willie says that shows maturity in leadership. Nana, God bless you. Akando. Okay, I don't think I want to read this. Haj Suarez says, that's incompetent man. They said, oh, MPP next time they will go to the prison for minister. Well, I don't get what you're trying to say. Solomon Tete says, yes, the mediation was started by him. That's ex-President Mahama, so he should finish it. And Maxwell Oheneba Apriku says, no, I don't see anything bad about it. After all, he's still a Ghanaian. Finally, some youth in Tamale have besieged the offices of the National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO, threatening workers to vacate the offices. Now, the perpetrators are supposedly activists of the NPP who wielded sticks, chanting and insisting on locking up those offices. They also locked up the offices of the Youth Employment Agency plus the National Health Insurance Authority. What do you make of the situation, and how do you think we can avoid such incidents anytime there is a change in government?
I believe educating the supporters to stop this militant behavior would be the best option, because if we continue to allow this situation to fester, very soon they might not go about locking offices, but they might be beating people, killing people. We heard stories that they were beating people and killing. There was an instance where they killed someone in the central region just because of this same situation. So I believe educating the supporters to stop this behavior will be the best option to do.
The president sitting should try and educate or tell every other person that they shouldn't lock up offices, and it should be a criminal offense if one is caught locking up other person's office to prevent that person to do his daily work.
Right from the onset, we should just see what the Constitution speaks about those people who work in those sectors, whether they have to leave immediately as the government that appointed them is leaving, or they will pay the appointment that they have some luxury of time to spend in that apartment or whatever work they are doing, or the workplace. But for me, I would think that they will have to exercise, especially for us to hear that MPP supporters are going to their offices and locking down the office. I think it's not in the right direction. We should exercise this. And I think they are also retaliating to what happened before the transition time in 2008, 2009, I think what happened. But as we all know that it's not in the right direction, I don't think it's something that should be repeated.
I don't think if government will deliberately appoint somebody who he thinks is not incompetent, but the Constitution gives him the mandate to appoint the person. If the Constitution says he can appoint the person, then fair enough. But the whole thing I want to say is the whole nation needs education. When it comes to the appointees and that, what do you call it, politicians, that's how we definitely need education, okay? So that we may know that there's a person, the Constitution gives him the mandate to appoint the person, or the Constitution doesn't give him the mandate to appoint. If we will do that, definitely the Ghana will move forward.
Well, some interesting comments from the streets. Let's hear what you've been saying on Facebook.
Nambe Patrick says, these energetic youth should relax and safeguard the four corners of this country with their strength. The security forces need more recruits, I guess. On a more serious note, this isn't the right way to handle such cases, and the fact that their opponents the same should encourage them to also retaliate. Evans Maunyo says, these must be condemned. By the way, what are the law enforcement bodies doing? Phil Boy says, people should be punished for such acts. Taking over offices is done by government officials, but not any borough boy on the street. John Johnson says, it is a routine reaction, so I'm not surprised, but it will change gradually. But personally, like Aisha and I, won't do such a thing. You necessarily have to mention Aisha in this. Aisha, this guy has a crush on you.
John Johnson. Now, Adaman says, I think during such period, the security should be empowered more to deal with such menace. I think Ghana should be matured enough. This comment has been okay. And Fake London Boy says, Massa, if the NPP try to retaliate, what happened in 2009, it won't be fair. Anyway, let's condemn it. Momo Del Bom Boy says, where are we going as a country? And Ismail Halil says, the violence has resurfaced one more time. Ghana for you. Elias Amachi says, let the security rise to the occasion. And Fred Azuma is laughing. I don't know why he's laughing. Are you happy that all of these are happening? Momo says Ghana is too old for those shameless actions. And okay, those are some of your messages on Facebook. And Hackman Emmanuel says, must this not MPP? Okay, I don't get what you're trying to say.
On Twitter, President Akufo-Addo is trending, and that it has to do with Shelia Koboche being appointed Foreign Affairs Minister. And Mepuri says President Akufo-Addo, 6 years after nation, we no longer have an excuse to be poor. So it has to do with a number of the quotes that was contained in his speech on Saturday.
There's one from Fremo Parry.
Okay, so Fremo Parry says, a privilege to be selected to work for President Akufo-Addo. So that's the acting chief of staff tweeting. Okay, Fremo welcome Parry to the Twitter sphere.
Interesting. Yeah,
right.
She's on point. Yeah, of course.
And then AFCON 2017 is also trending. And yeah, you just have to stay tuned. We're bringing you up all the updates here on Joy News.
All right, and on that note, we end the interactive segment. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. I've enjoyed my time with you. Have a great one.